the SQD interface for the static fire gantry installed at Massey's, new ship transport stand parts arrived at Sanchez, test article S39.1 is stacked onto its aft section at the build site, and large chunks of the OLM have been cut away from pad 1 at the launch site. Welcome to episode 106 of Starbase Flyover Update. Climb on board as we cover the last week's developments of Starbase from the 31st of October through to this week's Flyover on the 8th of November. My name's Jeff A, and we are set to join RGV Aerial Photography for a flyover to enjoy the views from 6,000 feet of Starbase, Texas. Let's start over at the Massey's rocket testing facility. Beginning at the ship's static fire stand, the new style ship quick disconnect has been installed on the gantry structure. Next to the stand, the engine chill dump line has been routed to a pit next to the ramp. Moving to the GSE bunker, we can see the roof has been poured. This finishes the structural part of the building. Formwork has been constructed for a section of the blast wall beside the methane tank farm. Rebar installation can be seen off to the side. At the booster cryo stand, we can see that the lock side quick disconnect has been plumbed in, meaning that the stand appears to be ready to test a booster in the near future. A set of SPMTs are sitting nearby. These would take the ship cryo stand back to the build site in the early hours of the 13th of November. Moving to the ship cryo testing stand, we can see both the liquid and gaseous nitrogen lines have been routed through the bottom portion of the stand to a vertical pipe. It seems that this has been set up as a test stand for the new test article Test Tank 18, aka S39.1. The new plumbing here should be used for cryogenic and gaseous nitrogen instead of the old version 2 quick disconnect interface. Looking over at the LOX farm, 2 of the LOX hippos from the launch site have been staged here. It's not clear yet if they will be used here for the LOX or over at the methane farm where there is provision for 2 more. A new transformer pad and conduit run has been dug next to the ground support building. This is likely part of the total rewiring of the test site. Finally, beside the supercrusher, the new top hatch ring has been taken off its fabrication stand and it appears to be completed. Now let's move to Sanchez. Here's a labelled map from Proky to help you find your way around. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time to browse over the updated image. Starting at the stand production area, the boosted transport stand has no noticeable changes this week. Further back, the ship's static fire stand work platform has been moved to this location, and the steel plates that will make up its work surface have been staged nearby. The BQD rear hoods and the clamp arm covers for the new launch mount remain here waiting for transport to the launch site. The next set of ship work stand platforms have been painted, with 2 in the front of the tent and the 3rd seen inside. Parts for the long-awaited upgraded ship transport stand have turned up in the inventory tent area. These look very similar to the sections used for the boosted transport stands. Looking nearby, crews have started cleanup work around the area. The swivel joints for the cryogenic fluid pipes are getting installed in the SQD arm. As we will see later at the launch site, its rollout may well be very soon. Platform manufacturing for the megabase is spread out further into the Sanchez site. We can see the new crane parked in the rocket garden. The boom extensions were being installed during the flyover. Later, it would be raised up over Booster 17 to remove the white cap. Just before moving to the build site, we would like to thank all of our YouTube and Patreon members. Remember, all of the patrons get to participate in our Discord show and tell sessions on the same day of each flight. Here you can join in the discussions and ask your own questions. YouTube members also get to watch and listen in with a live chat function. Beginning as always at the Gigabay foundations, steel construction is well underway with a large amount of work in the middle of the building, adding horizontal support structure to tie the 2 sides of the middle support wall. In the back right corner, exterior columns are being placed as well as the inner columns for one of the elevator shafts in the building. Now moving to the Megabay 2 activity for the last week, on the 6th of November, the transfer tube installation stand rolled into the bay. When the doors opened on the 7th, Ship 39 had been lowered over the stand. Then on the 9th, it was lifted off the stand and onto these wooden blocks on the centre workstand. During this time, on the 7th of November, we got our first look at the new Block 3 aft section design for the ship. This features the new quick disconnect design and layout. The aft section was rolled into Megabay 2 and was placed on the turntable, and then the rest of 39.1 test tank was rolled in and stacked. Only a day later, the test tank was fully welded and moved into the Star Factory to receive its testing hardware before it goes to Massey's. In Mega Bay 1, we can see that Booster 18 is fully stacked. Workers can now add what is known lovingly to the community as the fiddly bits, such as the raceways, chines, autogenous pressurization lines, and more. Finally, at the parking apartment complex, the inner car park structure is complete and internal structural work is commencing. With that, let's head over to the launch site. Starting at Pad 1 this week, removal of the OLM has started on the top of the mount. Around the perimeter, the outer canopy has been removed to each side of the BQD. Around the mount, paint marks are visible where the main ring structure is being cut to allow large segments to be lifted for further scrapping. In this clip from La Padre, we see a segment of the launch mount main ring removed. Also visible is the void left behind from other segments previously removed. Thanks as always to Vix for posting this clip on X. Near the tank farm, several of these pieces are waiting for removal. Many of them are from the canopy. Others are the pieces removed from the BQD, including the main quick disconnect frame, the top hood, and the door. Notice the hardware added to seal the main propellant lines when it was closed after liftoff. Back at the mount, we can see that little remains of the BQD enclosure, with most of the hoses still in place. Turning to the clamp arms, only 5 remain installed. We can see that arms have been cut off for removal of the main structure. Several clamp arm sections can be seen below the mount and in the dumpster to the side. Moving to the tower, scaffolding has been installed on the carriage around the tower legs. Window washer style catwalks are being assembled to begin maintenance of the rails that guide the chopsticks up and down the tower. To the back of the tower, the Drawworks hardware has been removed. The left side had the dead end spool, which has been relocated to Sanchez. The right side had the winch, which was seen leaving Starbase, possibly for refurbishment. To the right, the berm relocation is complete at the retention pond. Turning to the tank farm removal, the 8 kettle reboilers have been removed from the lock side. 6 of them have been seen arriving at McGregor, as well as the 2 reported earlier at Massey's. Pipework removed can be seen in front, staged for scrapping in the dumpsters. At the methane side, the 4 remaining kettle reboilers are clear of pipework and scaffolding ahead of removal. To the back of the area, the 2 large tanks have some scaffold installed to inspect the lifting lugs, indicating that these will be removed soon. To the left, the high pressure tanks have started to be removed. The space below also appears to be completely cleared. Making our way to the mega bunker, weather sealing of the roof has progressed this week, 1 5-gallon bucket at a time. Concrete slabs continue to be installed around the perimeter, with a gap left for utilities that may still be installed. After a few weeks of limited progress, the SpaceX LR11000 has been raised. As we see the progress with the ship quick disconnect arm at Sanchez, lifting it into position should be the next task for this crane. To the back of Tower 2, lifting equipment has been delivered for the installation of the arm. 2 yellow air hoses have also been run up the side of the tower to the hinge points for operation of the pneumatic-powered hoists. At the Pad 2 launch mount, the service bunker closes in on completion. The final 2 vent covers are fully installed on each side of the LOX BQD. Along the vertical seams of the cladding, additional plating is being added to cover the gaps. Now zooming in on the blast doors seen from the ground last week, the thickness of this door is rather impressive. After the long wait, the speculated breakover device made its way to the launch site, revealing its true purpose. Placed on the clamp arms, this device will be used to test the strength of the hold-down clamps as well as the arms themselves. Due to the flame trench below, the testing device used on Pad 1 would not work, as it used a tray of suspended counterweights that were set on the deluge plate while rotating to the next pair of clamps. Taking a look at this render from Chrome Kiwi on X, we can see that by utilising the 4 rams, the frame can lift straight up on the clamps as well as pull on an angle by pushing only on one side or the other. Thanks to Starship Gazer for this image of the test fixture that shows the sockets featuring the recognisable shape of the booster clamp receivers. Now looking at the BQDs, some new items have been installed. These appear to be some kind of measuring plate to survey something on the launch mount. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Just below, we also see new insulated covers over the flanges of the propellant flex lines. To the side of the launch mount, the 2 suspected Fondag slabs have been uncovered. The last slab has also been completed with it covered in tarps as well as submerged in water, a common technique for ensuring the proper hydration of fondak during the curing process. Finally, at the air separation unit construction site, the thin wing to the west is completely covered in the foam gravel, with equipment continuing to grade and compact the fill. Just below, the BG-42 drill rig has been hard at work installing the piles that will support the ASU equipment. The drill appears to be working, where the process hardware will be located. Looking down a little further, piles seem to be forming two lines, possibly for storage tanks. Looking at the port connector road again this week, more of the pre-assembled modules have been uncovered. 3 horizontal tanks have also been staged. It's unclear if these will be for the ASU site or for another location. That's all for episode 106 of Starbase Flyover Update. Thank you for choosing to fly with RGV aerial photography, and we hope you all enjoyed the flight. If you liked what you saw today, please subscribe for more episodes and content so you don't miss out on the new videos each week, and leave a thumbs up. To receive the latest images and to join in the conversation on the day they are taken, please consider joining RGV's Patreon. I'm Jeff A, and I'll see you next week from 6,000 feet.